Hello. It is 9:05 p.m. Uh, I was making thumbnails, hanging out with my roommates, or my roommate and his friend, um, and reading. That's pretty much what I've been doing today. Uh, I will say the knee has in fact been an injury. It's it's like a strain. I don't think it's anything super serious. I did a little bit of ice pack yesterday, and then today I've been walking around. It's fine. I'm planning on still doing a walk tomorrow. I think doing the normal schedule of walking will help get the knee kind of circulation and get it to heal faster. It doesn't really stop me from walking. There's just certain like up and down where my knee is at a certain angle, and so there's like a soreness there. Um, but yeah, so so there's that. Um, I we had a me, my roommate, and his friend. We had an interesting conversation about like intrinsic versus like internal versus external systems for success, the pros and cons of those things. Also, kind of talking about like I don't know. I uh, I was really thinking about my next set of stuff that's going to be happening, and I'm like 5 weeks away at this point, and I don't again I don't really have a plan. Um, I know Italy is like part of the plan. Um, if worse comes to worse, and I'm not going to be if I'm going to be traveling for a decent amount of time, then I can always just park the car here, um, which the roommates have mentioned, and I do appreciate that, obviously. Um, I think I don't know. It's like it's hard to I'd made another attempt to kind of explain to my roommate like the situation, but it's like I used a really good analogy that is kind of perfect for this. I'm playing, when in terms of games, it's like I'm playing a PlayStation game and he's playing an Xbox game, or he's playing on the PC or a Nintendo game or whatever. And although we're both gamers in that sense, where we're playing games, my experience with the game I'm playing and his experience with the game he's playing are so different that I can't give him advice and he can't give me advice on the games we're playing because we're playing different games. So it's like, imagine playing like Call of Duty, and then someone who plays League of Legends comes in and is like, "Hey, why aren't you CSing?" And it's like, CSing, like I'm I'm just trying to get kills and like level up my hot streaks into whatever uh to call in like an airstrike or to get the tank or the whatever it is, right? um and it's one of those things where like it's so incompatible that it sounds like garbage to the other person. Even though, like, okay, in League of Legends, yeah, making sure that you're paying attention to CS is important, checking, old timers and Flash, and, you know, making sure to, like, do the proper builds for whatever kind of build you're going for, whatever it is, right? Just as it's really important to get good at um, kind of your aim uh, in CS, or learning the spray for like certain guns, like that makes no sense for a League of Legends player. Like, oh yeah, do you know the spray of whatever gun that you're using? you know it's like, no. It's like, it doesn't make sense. um so getting back to the thing, it's like, this is an inherent problem where intuition and logic are kind of at two ends of the spectrum. And it's really hard to get them to kind of merge, because inherently, when you're doing something with logic, the logic based thing that you think you should do might be counterproductive towards the intuition based thing. So, an example, if logic says you need to do a 9 to 5 job in order to have steady income, but the intuition says, hey, I know that you're worried about having, income. Whatever resources you need will show up as long as you follow my guidance. They're two totally different things. You can try and mix the two. We're like, okay, maybe I have like an online job that I do on the weekends to have a little extra spending money. But then it's like you're taking away from the intuition side, where the intuition's like, hey, you need to go out and do this thing. And you're like, yeah, but I got this job that I'm working on. And so it's like, it's hard to balance the two, because you do need to use your logic to kind of work on certain things, but also the intuition is really important to follow. So it's like, when do you use logic? When do you use your intuition? When do you use both? um, so yeah, so it's kind of it's tough. And sometimes, because I'm so immersed in like all of this stuff, um, and because I've kind of, it's not an if for me when it comes to like intuition and like spirituality, the readers, the Reiki profession, like all of this stuff, right? And so for me, all of those things are a given already. So I'm standing on a threshold where I'm not questioning any of the foundational stuff about them, because I know it all works. Whereas my roommates and other people who aren't necessarily, they haven't opened themselves up to the ideas of this like higher level stuff. And I say higher level stuff, it's not that they're lower and I'm higher. It's more like there's different trajectories, there's different paths. And so I've walked further down on this one particular instance of a path. Just as they've walked on further along on different paths than I have, right? And so you kind of have this scenario where I'm way past the basic assumptions of, is this real? I'm past that because I know it's real. It's been proven to me time and time again that it is real. So it's like, I don't question the fundamental stuff that's there. I'm like, okay, so I went to this Reiki person, and then this Reiki person helped me with this thing. And I say that, and people who are not on that, like, same level of, like, understanding, they'll be like, whoa, you went to a Reiki person. Like, isn't that, like, some crazy energy person? Like, is that even a thing? Like, that sounds insane. And so this is the problem, is they don't even believe it's a real thing. So when someone doesn't believe something's real, anything past that you explain to them is like, yeah, but you're in La La Land, it's all fake. And so it's like, no, it's not fake. I, like, know it's not fake, and I've proven it time and time again. I understand that you don't have the same experience as I do, and so there's nothing wrong with you not believing it, but it's like, it makes it really hard to explain something without getting the sarcastic, like, haha, whatever it is about, like, oh, Reiki master, haha, you mean like energy guy? And it's like, like, you can't do anything when the basic principles with which you operate are so different. So this is why it's kind of like, there's no point in explaining it, even though I've tried so many different ways of, like, trying to explain things. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just like, when I believe and know certain things, and they believe and know other things, and our things don't overlap, it's like, if there's no bridge, it doesn't matter. Like, I can say whatever I want, and they can say whatever they want, and the bridge will never be built, because you have to kind of have a level of base suspension of disbelief, because it's kind of like it's similar to the idea that people who do a 9 to 5, there are base assumptions with a 9 to 5 job. When you go there, you're expected that you're going to be paid for your time, right? That's like, that. And if any one of you have ever had a 9 to 5, you just know that's just, like, standard. Like, now imagine someone who doesn't believe in the 9 to 5, and they're like, no, bro, it's a scam. They're totally gonna cheat you out of your pay, and like the system is just trying to get you to, like, stop thinking and all this stuff. Okay, if the two of you try to have a conversation, and the first one's like, hey, I'm doing this 9 to 5, and I'm really happy that I just got a promotion. The dude who doesn't believe that the 9 to 5 is a good thing is going to be like, oh my god, dude, you're so sucked into the system. I can't believe that you would get excited over a promotion. And the guy who's, like, wanting to share this, like, really cool moment for them about the promotion gets shut down because, just quite frankly, the other person doesn't believe that the promotion even matters. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. And so you kind of have two options. You have the option, number one, of trying to explain it even though you know that it isn't really going to be explained properly. And what that does is, you spend a bunch of time, You spend a bunch of resources to try and explain this, and the resources being your time, your energy, your your drive, all of this stuff. And the end result is, if the person doesn't believe or doesn't want to like understand, then it's just all, you're just blowing smoke, and the smoke just drifts right past them. And then the other option is to just do your own thing, and then if it's asked, hey, what are you doing, you can explain it, but you don't have to like qualify yourself. Like, you don't have to justify that you are doing a thing just because the other person doesn't think it's smart or doesn't believe you. And that's kind of the camp that I've kind of fallen into, because it's like, it's just kind of tiring to keep, you know, um, getting ridiculed for doing different things that people don't understand. It's like, you know, like, obviously I love my roommates, but at the same time, it's like, it sucks to like have something that you really like is like a really deep core thing about you be like joked at or totally discredited because they just don't get it. So it's like, okay, well, you know, I don't want to continue getting ridiculed like that. Um, you know, so it's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and eventually, maybe you'll understand it. If you don't, I mean, that's okay. um, I can't really do anything about it. So, yeah, but it's tough because, you know, I like I can't I don't know how to go about it any other way. Um, and it really, I'll say sometimes it just really hurts to like be like talking about something that matters so much to you, and it's like, it's not even a dismissal. It's like, it's almost like being treated almost like a charity case, where it's like, oh yeah, then we got Tom over here, the woo-woo guy that is doing something. We have no idea what he's doing. He's backsliding. He's not he's not all right in the head, but it's like, I don't know, like, I don't fucking say that about the fact that people act differently. So it sucks to see it. Um, and yeah, so I just do what I can, and I don't like, it bothers me internally, but it's also like, I understand where it's coming from. It's not like, I don't think that they really understand, and it's not a malicious thing. It's like, and I don't understand, so I'm going to just try and understand it the way I can, which is, oh, maybe there's some sort of mental thing, or oh, maybe like he's just a little off, or he's weird, or whatever it is, right? Um, and yeah, so it's like I can't be mad. Like I get it. Um, doesn't make it any easier, but I totally get it. So, um, yeah. I don't know. I think that's why kind of going out and exploring and kind of running into people that think similarly or that have more kind of open perspectives um, will I think that's why I'm being pushed into this direction, or at least one of them is it's like I know that the stage I'm supposed to be walking on is one that where I need to be interacting with lots of people and I need to be going to different places and yeah, it's it's scary, but I do know that I'm going to be taken care of. It's just I don't know. It just makes me think about how different I really have become, because I think in the past those kinds of behaviors and kind of comments um, I don't think I would have even realized, or I would have maybe laughed along and kind of not even thought about it. But I can feel the internal kind of confusion and trying to kind of make sense of things. And that's part of the reason why it's like it's hard, because I know that each person is trying in their own way to understand. Um, funny enough, the old roommate that got kicked out, the girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, there was something she said to me that at the time, it was a while ago, that at the time really kind of hurt, but it was something where it's like, oh, like I get it later. And it was, she mentioned, because I had been explaining this ego death experience I had, which turned into, like, obviously now I understand that it's more than just an ego death thing. It was a whole other thing. But, like, at the time, I had this, basic understanding of things. And so at first she's like, okay, well, tell me, like, explain to me this whole thing. And I would explain it. And she didn't get it. And she was like, I don't really understand. So I tried and explained it in a different way. And she still didn't get it. And after, like, the third time of me trying to explain this to her, at her behest, she was like, okay, I don't get it, and I don't really think I'm going to get it, so I think you probably should just stop talking about it. And I was, like, flabbergasted that she, like, would say this. But that's just the kind of person she was. Um, and later, as I thought about it, I was like, oh, okay. I understand that from her perspective, it was going to be impossible for her to get the thing that I was explaining. And instead of do the circle of trying to explain over and over and over again, which I was very much stuck on back then, I've gotten better at it now. But sometimes I still just get into the like, okay, I gotta explain it. Um, but yeah, basically, she cut off. She saw the loop, and so she's like, nope, we're not doing the loop. I don't get it, and I don't really, I don't really want to get it at this point. And so it's one of those things where, um, yeah, different people kind of do different things to try and figure out and cope and whatever with like not understanding something. Um, and I think in this case it's like making light of it and kind of like, okay, like, trying their best but not fully getting it or understanding it, and just kind of laughing it off and kind of changing the subject, right? um which is why it's like, okay, yeah, like I understand. And so I sort the stuff out internally, and then I just let it go. um so yeah, didn't think I would be talking about this stuff. Just kind of came up. So yeah, but I will say on a side note, I've got 7, 8, 9, 10 videos for the novel stuff, all kind of ready to kind of get uploaded and go. So I'm gonna start posting that in the next like day or two. Um, I just uploaded the intro video for Wizard Unlimited Profession slots. So you know, I I feel sad that that's the first thing that people are gonna read or people are gonna see. Um, because that novel's good, but compared to this current novel, like, oh my gosh, this current novel's so good. But I don't know. I think it's still, you know, it's definitely, I would have rated it much higher if it wasn't as dark as it was, which is funny because this novel is also pretty dark, but the way that it's dark is so different. Um, it's kind of like, because there's that MMO video game element throughout, even though Monster World is fucking insane. Like the world that they are in and fighting with is crazy, and there's like despair level powers out there. Um but because it's kind of mired in this MMO feel where lots of people are working together, and guess what? You can die and come back for fucking some little experience or some resources, and you're fine. Um so yeah, it's it takes that darker element and puts a spin on it so that you can still laugh and have fun while watching like the players be players. So yeah. All right. Um, is there anything else I want to talk about? Not really. I think, yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue doing my thing, and I'd like to have, by the end of the week, I want to have the rest of the drawers sorted and really like everything cleaned up to the point where, I have my one closet that has the boxes kind of reduced as much as possible. And then maybe it's time to, well, I mean, that'll take like a day or two to take down. So I don't, well, I say a day or two. That'll take like an hour or two to take down the, what's it called? The disc plates. That's probably going to be the last thing I take down. Because I really like the disc plates and I don't want to just like, I like looking at them. So yeah. I also got to figure out what I'm going to do with my Legos. That's the other thing. I don't have too many. Like, I have a couple sets. I have the sets behind me, and then I have the stuff I made at the, what's it called? The other stuff. The other places. So, I also got to continue uploading on this guy. The little handheld. Add more stuff. What is this? Okay. So, yeah. I guess have a good night. And tomorrow I should be doing a walk. I definitely need to. So, yeah. Okay. Bye.